and you saw this unapologetic about being Black. When you watch those works, you're proud. You know, getting to be in a workshop and you're just there like, what are we doing? And everybody is like grooving with it, and you're like, you ready. You gotta bring your best. You got to. Sure. Hello, viewers. I'm Quincy Junor, professional dancer, singer, actor, and choreographer. Originally born in Guyana, South America, but raised in Brooklyn, New York. And I've been living here in Berlin now for the last 14, 15 years. Yeah. For me, it was literally the cliche way where there was this program called Latchkey. I'm a latchkey kid from Brooklyn, and it's one of these after-school programs where when your parents had to work, you were able to leave your children there and get them a little later, you know, which was great. And it was free, you know, and it allowed parents to really not have to worry so much about what's going on with their kids if they're not there. They were fed, homework was taken care of, all those things, which I think in America, we still should have those programs today. They will always have different programs come in, different artistic programs, and one was a little dance troupe, and I sat there as a little kid watching, and I was like, I want to do that. And funny enough, my good friend at the time, the two of us, we were always dancing and active, and they were offering to give one student like a spot at their school, and he got it and not me, and I was like, ah! And then from there, I went on to North Star Academy, MS 340, and the only arts high school I auditioned for was Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music, Arts, and Performing Arts, the FAME school, and I got in. It was the only arts high school I auditioned for, and you know, I wasn't one of those dancers born with that body of like legs to the gods and all this. I worked for what I got, and every day I worked. Yeah, education was a massive, massive part of who I became, yeah. I called her one day and I said, Mom, I said, I gotta thank you for all the time back then when you sat me down and you were like, hey, I'm gonna break this CD and pay for your education. You know, that money could have went someplace else, you know, but she said, we're gonna do this, let's go. And she was like, yeah. And I said, I thank you for that, because I know it wasn't always easy. I know you wanted to do things for yourself, but you couldn't have. So I give her thanks for that. It reminds me of why you do good out here. And all the people that helped raise me. This is not just, it takes a lot of people to get Quincy here. And it's understanding to what I do is because of them. And my mother always taught me, she said, dress well, present yourself well, it's gonna take you far. And it's one thing when my teachers would see her, she's like, your child is all well put together. And my mother, you know, we're Caribbean, so it's still coming up, you could hit the student if they're misbehaving. We're from that generation. And my mother would come up to the school and she would tell my teachers, if he's misbehaving, you hit him, I give you permission. But when coming up, again, dancing was nothing that anyone in the family did. You were teachers, you were lawyers, you were doctors, you were ministers, you know, and here I am, like, I'm gonna be a dancer, you know. And then that also coming with sexuality, and it's like, well, what's going on, especially in the Black and brown community and the Caribbean community, what is that looking like? What is, you know, but again, it took, also, my mother, she spoke with me like, is this what you really wanna do? You know, because they wanted to know, first of all, is there money in there? Can you survive, you know? And also it took good people, like my mom's friends, you know, they would be like, hey, let that child dance. This is a great future, you know? For me, dance means community. Dance means allowing different bodies and voices to come into a place to convey a message, which is the choreographic dance, or a class where someone is coming to get something and to give something. For myself, my classes that I teach a modern dance class and a jazz class, and also the Martha Graham technique. And with that, it's like you, especially for Martha Graham technique, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. You have to, that is such a part of who I am, my identity, my upbringing. My friends go, you're still teaching Graham? Oh my God, not my hips. And I'm like, I love it. But to see also the joy it brings people, of how people come together to, whether I'm working with actors or actresses or aerial artists, a lot of people come in because they want to learn something else about self, and then how they can then take it on to their work and bring it together. So I think dance is an important part of our society because it's community. Dance has always been there. Dance is in the Bible. Dance it's across culturally. People had dances to bring the rain. People had dances for their harvest. And so in today's society, when people go, we don't have money for certain things, dance is the first thing that gets cut. I don't prescribe to that. I'm sorry, I do not, because why? I will be taken out and beaten up somewhere by I have good German friends who are amazing dancers. I do, so I don't prescribe to that. Here's what I do prescribe to. The educational system is different. The educational system that I came up in America fostered those a dancer to grow in dance from a young age. Whereas in Germany, it starts more on a hobby base. Unless you're going to be in ballet or you're majoring in ballet, will you go to maybe the Kronko school, or you're in Dresden at Paschula or one of these places, which you're being nurtured with growth of a technique to come up. People always go, why did you leave America and come to Germany? I was like, I was always taught, my teacher, Helen Pickett, big thanks to Helen Pickett. Helen Pickett used to dance for William Forsythe in Frankfurt Ballet. You look at all these amazing teachers I've had who really shaped me to be who I am. They were like, open your eyes. There is a bigger world out there, not just in America, not just here. Travel. So for me, when I get up, I get myself prepared for the day. Because I know there's somebody out there that's going to want to test you and try you and all those things. And I, gotten smarter to go, resist that urge. Because as a black man, no matter where you are, a person of color, you got to deal with so much. You have, first of all, you come in and you are announced because of this. Then you got to show your credentials. All these different things. So for me, it's like, and I tell that to my students now. I say, how you start your day is so important for your sanity and for your well-being. Because irrespective of what's going on out there, don't let it throw you off your game, because someone is looking to cancel you before you even begun. So don't give them the opportunity to. Here's the thing that really, really gets me, and I really got to say this point, is stop pitting artists against each other. Because of the culture, you pit artists against each other. You pit artists against each other, and then worst of all, you pit black and brown artists against each other, because then it comes into colorism. When everything happened with George Floyd, you saw all the casting. Oh, my phone was blowing up. My inbox was like, woo, baby. I was like, yeah. Because everybody wanted a POC, BIPOC, you saw it nonstop. But the argument now became is they are taking our jobs. And I had to say this to one person. I said, first of all, who is taking your job? I said, because that black and brown person, they're not at the table giving the job in order to take the job from you. I said, for many years and decades, anyone who looked like you as a whole white man was put before anyone who looked like me, even if we were the best talent out there. So what's your argument? I always watch to see what are the end results from projects I get casted for if I'm not chosen. And of course, I see a light-skinned, curly hair person. Light-skinned, curly hair. And it's something you see constantly where it's like, it's what's fashionable. It's just like in the LGBTQI plus alphabet mafia community where it's like, well, we want gay. Everything has to be gay. Everything has to be this. But does it fit the narrative? I, as a whole person, I look at the whole story arc. If this character arc does not need to include such a characteristic or personality, why do you have it just to have it? Your movie will flop, your show will flop, your viewers can't connect to it at all. Why? Because there's nothing to connect it. What you're producing and what you're creating has no foundation. I still, the piece by John Adams, Shaker Loop, I danced with it with one of the dance companies, Siren Modern Dance Company. I was danced with them in New York. I was one of their company members, and we took that music and did it. We got a commission piece for it, and we did it with the live orchestra with Matthew Oberstein conducting, and that was amazing. You know, that was an amazing piece to do. You know, it was an evening length work, and that was fantastic. And I love that music. Fast forward, when I moved here, the amazing Tilda Swinton, who I would love to work with someday. I'm like, I don't care what it is. I'm like, Tilda, I'm there. And Tilda Swinton was one of the lead actresses for the movie I Am Love, or for I Am Love, and they used that as the soundtrack, and it was amazing. I was fortunate enough to meet her and everything, and I said, you know what, I danced to this movie, I danced to this soundtrack, and I was like, and she's like, for I Am Love, the ballet. And I was like, okay. So maybe that would be a project I would do, because I mean, it was an amazing piece of the movie was about love and what it looked like when awakening and what you're gonna abandon and lose. And all those things, like as an artist, you can identify with, or as a human being. And I tell my students, I said, look, people will see your greatness before you do, and not all of them will be for your good. Some will see it because they're afraid of you, and they want to take you out. They want to discredit you before you can even walk in that room. I said, that's why you got to do good work at all times and present yourself well. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to come out in the end.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Can we do another one?